Good evening and welcome to the Tuesday, April 23rd, 2019 Finance Committee meeting. I will begin with letting the public know that committee members present this evening, myself, Councilor Di Natale, Councilors Boschman, Zarella, and Walsh. We will begin. I ask anyone in the audience who is recording this meeting to please identify themselves for the record now by standing and stating their name and address. Seeing none, public forum. If there is anyone in the audience who wishes to address the commission, the committee, they may do so at this time. You may speak on any item appearing on the agenda for not more than 2 minutes. Please stand and state your name and address and the item on which you wish to speak. Is there anyone here who wishes to speak? Seeing none, we will move on to the agenda. 11319, in order that there be and hereby is transferred from within the sum of $18,972, same to be transferred from year 43 Mock United Neighbors of Fitchburg Building Empowered Youth and Families Program to year 44 Mock United Neighbors of Fitchburg Building Empowered Youth and Families Program. A letter from Tom Skowarski, Executive Director of Community Development, to Mayor Di Natale, dated April 2nd, 2019, reads as follows. I respectfully request the appropriation of $18,972 from the year 43 Montechusett Opportunity Council, United Neighbors of Fitchburg Building Empowered Youth and Families Program to year 44 program of the same name. The Montechusett Opportunity Council has unspent funds from year 43, and the transfer of funds to the current CDBG year 44 will enable to Mock to cover additional staffing costs and expand the program to serve additional youth. Mock is pursuing additional funds to more aggressively develop and expand the program, and the reprogrammed funds will cover some of the funding gaps in the interim period. We have Director Skowarski here with us this evening. Is there anything else you'd like to add, sir?
I think that covers it.
Open it up to the committee. Councilor Boschman.
I know you and I talked this afternoon about this. I called you up. One question for you. If I recall right, when the United Neighborhood of Clegon went under, and Mark came in and took them over, sorry. If I'm not mistaken, it was in fiscal year 43, and the funds were $43,000 some odd dollars. And if I'm not mistaken, they only allowed them $10,000. So if you take $10,000 off of 43, that gives you 33. I'll get you down 30. What would happen to the, and you're going to 19,000, there's another $10,000 shot. If I recall right, I'm not trying to put you on the spot. I know you and I talked, but I was trying to figure it out in my head.
So I think we're getting the years mixed up too, and what we approved or what the council approved recently. It's kind of awkward. Sorry, I'm hearing myself.
The echo. Yeah.
And the echo. So in year 43, when UNF was still UNF, as everybody here knows it, they received an allocation, or they requested $53,000 from the CDBG fund. They were funded in the order of $44,968. In that year was when the tumult happened with UNF, and there was an extended period of time where they were in a bit of a holding pattern. Nothing was really happening there.
Right.
During that time, they left about $21,000, or they billed for $23,400, and there was a difference of about $21,000 remaining. So when they applied last year, in year 44, and maybe this is what you're getting to, then they asked for to be level funded from year 43, and what we told Mock on behalf of UNF is that we would fund them to a degree in year 44, and I think it was 10,000, and then above and beyond that, we would be supplementing it with this additional funding from year 43, and that funding, again, the difference was about 21,000 when it all came down to it, and we have to identify whenever we're funding any project what the gap is between their sources and uses. We can't, even if they're eligible for $21,000, if they're now performing a lesser service than they did previously, they don't have a food pantry, they're not doing community organizing, they're not providing translation support or legal support, their services have shrunk. And so the gap was a little bit less, that 19,000 figure. But so yeah, I mean, taken together, that's about 29,000 compared to what they've received previously. It is a decreased amount, but keep in mind they're performing a significantly more focused scope than they had in the past. I think previously UNF and they were performing a lot of services. They had expanded their scope far beyond what they had traditionally provided. At the same time, their budget was shrinking in a variety of ways. And I think Mock, working on behalf of UNF, has taken a new and renewed effort in really focusing on what they do best, which is their youth program. But as a result, I think looking at that gap in funding with what their needs are, that gap has I guess, shrunk a bit in terms of what we're able to allocate through the CDBG program.
All right, thank you, Ken. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Motion to approve 11319.
Motion made and seconded to approve 11319. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It is unanimous.
Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to 11419, in order that there be and hereby is appropriated the sum of $103,600 to be charged against reserve for appropriation insurance recoveries for over $150,000 and credited to school expenses. Letter dated April 3rd, 2019, to Mayor Di Natale from Acting Superintendent Bob Jokola. Mayor Di Natale, I'm writing to request for an appropriation of $103,600 from insurance recoveries, a reimbursement check from MIAA to cover the Crocker Insurance claim expenses. I would like the appropriations to be allocated to the account School Extraordinary Maintenance. We have the acting superintendent here if there are any questions, but if I open it up to the committee.
I make a motion we accept. Oh, you want to ask a question?
Just one quick question. The account that it's being credited to doesn't appear to match between the order and the letter. I just wanted to make sure that we're making the right.
Yes, Auditor Brooks, yep.
Yeah, the city council is allowed to appropriate to school expenses. It's the school committee that determines what account it goes to.
Gotcha. That's what I figured it was. I just wanted to make sure we weren't putting it in the wrong spot. In that case, I'll second Councilor Boschman's motion.
Motion made and seconded to approve 11419. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It is unanimous. Thank you. Moving on to 11519. In order that there be and hereby is appropriated the sum of $1 million to be charged against available funds and credited to Treasurer Debt Service maturing debt for the purpose of paying part of the Longsjo School roof loan. A letter dated April 10th, 2019 to the mayor. A letter dated April 10th, 2019 to Auditor Brooks from the mayor. Dear Mr. Brooks, kindly draw a council order for the city of Fitchburg to appropriate the sum of $1 million from available funds and credited to Treasurer Debt Service maturing debt. The original loan order to replace the Longsjo Middle School roof was $2 million. Although our debt service has the capacity for the Longsjo roof loan order, this $1 million appropriation will help place the city in an advantageous position with our debt service for future municipal projects. Furthermore, it is my intention to pay the remaining $1 million balance in the proposed 2020 budget. Thank you. We have the Mayor's Chief of Staff present this evening to answer any questions from the committee. I open it up to the committee. Councilor Zarella?
I'd just like to say I'm very happy that this is before us. I think if we have the money to pay these things down ahead of time, that's just responsible. I mean, we could drag it out and say, let's put this $1 million towards some short-term thing that'll, put a smile on someone's face and then be gone. But if we put it towards this, then we're in a better position going forward. And then we'll, have some capacity set aside for emergencies.
Councilor Boschman?
So we spent about 2.3 million, right? Sir?
In
AJ?
addition, approximately total cost, yes.
Total cost, and so we're gonna pay it off within that 2-year period? It's gonna be all paid off this
So,
budget coming
yeah,
around?
so we'll spend, correct, so we've already appropriated the additional 300. This $1 million will cover half of the loan order, and the remaining half of that loan order will be covered in the FY20 budget.
Can I say something here? You put a big smile on Bob's face, too. Okay, I make a motion, we accept.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to approve 11519. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It is unanimous.
Thank you, councilors.
Thank you. Next item, 11619, in order that there be and hereby is appropriated the sum of $100,000 to be charged against available funds and credited to school department capital improvements for the purpose of abating asbestos in the basement of Longshore Middle School in anticipation of replacing a main water pipe. I have a letter here from Acting Superintendent Jokola to the mayor on April 11th, 2019. Mayor, I am requesting a supplemental appropriation to be made for the capital improvement in the amount of $100,000. This appropriation will be used for asbestos abatement cost plus any oversight engineering costs that may occur at Longshore Middle School. I have the superintendent here for any questions you may have, and joining us is committee member, Council President Kuchmarek. Anything you'd like to add, Mr. Superintendent? Any questions from the committee?
Move to approve 11619.
Motion made and seconded to approve 11619, and speaking on the motion, so is it the city's intention by approving this transfer tonight that this is practically a done deal with respect to a future free cash appropriation for the replacement of this water pipe, which I see on this list of things that are yet to come? Is that an accurate statement?
Yep.
Do we know what the cost of that water pipe replacement's going to be?
We don't have a hard number at this time. A
It's not-
guesstimate would be in the $100,000 to $200,000 range.
I'm jumping ahead, of course, but this is work required in anticipation of the actual replacement. So, okay.
Mr. President,
Yes, Councilor Boschman. Yep.
when I heard the chair talk to you, we planning on doing this work as soon as this special's done? We're gonna change that pipe within this year budget coming up?
Well, the timing hasn't been determined yet, but it wouldn't be in this calendar year.
It would not be in this calendar year.
Or not this calendar, this fiscal year.
All right. I make a motion, we accept.
I did.
Oh, yeah, I second it. Oh, I should have been dead. Sorry about that. Getting carried away here.
Motion made and seconded to approve 11619. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It is unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you.
I know you did that.
Last item on the agenda, 11719, in order that there be and hereby is appropriated the sum of $25,000 to be charged against available funds and credited to information technology expenses, legal costs, and expenses. I have an email here from IT Manager Trevor Bonilla dated April 11th, 2019, to the auditor. Mr. Brooks, I am sending you this email to request an appropriation of $25,000 out of free cash to pay for legal fees associated with the ongoing PEG negotiations. I believe we neglected to encumber the funds appropriated from last year's budget, at which point they were mistakenly added to free cash instead of being returned to PEG Access and Cable Fund. Thank you.
Nice.
Mr. Brooks, please. Yep.
Yeah, Mr. Bonilla is not here tonight. This is basically an administrative correction that needs to be made because the amount should have been encumbered at the end of last year and was not. Because it was not, I should have put it back into the PEG Access Fund because that's a reserve for appropriation account. Instead, it closed to free cash, and this is just putting the money back where it needs to be.
Motion to approve 11719.
Motion made and seconded to approve 11719. On the motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It is unanimous.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion
Second.
made and seconded to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you.
Nice job, Mr.